Is Ryland crazy? I mean, is he really gonna try to sleep after meeting an alien for the first time? Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke, and today we're checking out Project Hail Mary, Chapter 10. We're talking aliens, ladies and gentlemen, so we're just gonna jump in. If you want to follow along, check the link in the description. You can just buy it on Amazon and have it in a couple of days. I'm doing a chapter a day. Come hang out with me and let's go. Let's go. So anyways, Ryland knocks back, right? But he doesn't really get communicated with. So he decides that he needs to test the wall that's in front of him that's separating the two pressurized areas. So he goes to the lab, grabs the X-ray spectrometer and also a lamp. He tapes the lamp down, he takes the X-ray spectrometer and puts it against the wall, and he finds out that it's the same material as those cylinders that he was using before, right? And so then he sees that one of the hexagons that's on this wall, because remember there's like 40 of them, it's translucent. So he looks through, and then he sees a rock hit the glass. And then he sees a hand, and this hand has 3 fingers and an arm. A few moments later, after some nonverbal communication through that glass, Ryland sees that the alien is holding the model. And one of them is a model of him in his EVA suit, and the other one is of the ship. And the alien is showing him that he needs to go back to the ship. So Ryland appeases him, goes back to his ship, shuts the airlock. And Ryland peeks through the porthole, the airlock porthole, and the lamp is still taped down to the tunnel, and now the hex wall is gone, and the hand from the robots from the outside is inside. It comes and grabs the lamp and puts the lamp in the compartment. He kind of talks about, like, do they need light to see? And he starts to make all of these like conclusions based on basically nothing. You know, right? This is aliens we're talking about, right? It smells like ammonia. This is the most foreign space a human has ever been in the history of humanity, right? And so then how does he get he said the hand of the robot puts the thing into the hole. He puts the lamp in the hole, and he hears knocking again. So he goes to get another lamp, and he jumps back in the tunnel without even putting the EVA suit on. Right? He realizes, hey, it's pressurized still. I'm just going to go back into the tunnel. And so now the wall is now solid and clear. And on the other side of the wall, he sees what appears to be a big ass rock spider with 5 legs and no head. And I say big. He estimates that the body is only about 18 inches. That's about 18 inches. 18 inches in diameter and about half that in width. And it's just arms. Made of rock. Creepy. Creep me out. And then he talks about, like, the spider thing's like wearing a shirt that's got a hole in it at the top for like where a head and neck would be, but the thing doesn't have a head and neck. Which is weird. I didn't know if he was like mimicking Ryland for something, or if he thought he should wear clothes because Ryland's wearing clothes. Thought that was kind of interesting. But this creature, alien, has got like rocky skin. We're gonna call him Rocky from now on because that's what Ryland calls him. Then they wave at each other a few times, and Ryland's like, "Nah, we're not gonna do this anymore." And he shakes his head, and then the thing shakes its body. I don't know why I'm doing it, but it shakes its body. And so then Rocky gestures to a present that he left in the tunnel for Ryland. And so Ryland picks up the present, and when he opens it, lefty tighty, righty loosey. When he opens the present, he pulls out all of these strands of what are like little cylinders. And the top one is small, and it's like a set of handcuffs that are connected to each other. And then the other set is a bunch of different strands of a bigger thing. And so Ryland goes through, he's like, okay, these are molecules. No, these are atoms. And he puts them in the 0G, and he's holding them, and he's like, oh, this is O2. This is oxygen. He's telling me what his atmosphere is, and this is ammonia, right? And then because they're all the little marbles, they look like ammonia atoms. And then he notices that there's 28 total of these versions of the ammonia atoms, and there's only one version of the O2 atom, meaning for every 1, there's 28. So the atmosphere that Rocky lives in not only is ammonia, but he's claiming, and Ryland kind of figures this out, that it's 28 times the pressure, air pressure, ammonia pressure, whatever you want to call it, of what Ryland is accustomed to. So at this point in the story, Ryland can't hang out in the same space because he'll die. But it is really cool that they're able to communicate like this. Like I was jazzed. I was like, speaking of jazz, now we get to the first time we see the jazz hands, which one of you people spoiled for me in the comments. Not mad about it. Still cool. But now they have this kind of language and they're advancing through their communication. They are speaking through models and hand gestures and excitement. After he comes to this conclusion that this is the atmosphere, he realizes he's like, I'm exhausted. And so he puts up his finger to communicate that he'll be right back. They've kind of figured out that that's what that means. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And he goes back to the lab, picks up a dry erase marker and an analog clock, and brings it back and shows it to him. And shows it to him at perfect noon. And then puts it up to the glass. And Rocky's like, bring it closer to the glass, closer to the glass, closer to the glass. And sees it. And Rocky freaks out, jazz hands, runs, puts his finger up, runs out, and goes and picks up this cylinder, this massive cylinder, and brings it back in there that's got 6 dials on it, 6 rotors on it, that all have a different alien-like symbol. Some of them aren't that alien. Some of them are symbols that you might see in Stargate or some other stuff. But it's a symbol. There are 6 of them. And they all rotate at similar to a clock, right? One rotates at 6 times longer than the next, and the next, and the next, in terms of seconds and minutes, similar to this. So their base number is 6, like ours is 10. Pretty fascinating. And so he essentially matches clocks. And so Ryland's real tired, and then he circles the 2, and he's like in 2, and then he goes back and gets a stopwatch, and he starts timing the cylinder. And he comes up with the one rotation of the 3rd dial on the alien clock thing. The 3rd rotor is 511 seconds. So essentially, he's able to communicate about how long he's going to be gone, which is 2 hours, via both clocks. And Ryland then realizes that he's learned that their number system, that they write their numbers based on these 6 markers on a log cylinder. They read information left to right, which is pretty interesting, and how long the Iridian second is. And then he determines the next thing they got to figure out is how they determine mass and length, right? Because there's other things they need to talk about that they're going to talk about. In this moment, though, which is the funny part, like the Rocky gets kind of bored. So it's interesting. Rocky's kind of got like dog energy. You know, he's like excited. He's very excitable. And the way he communicates is so interesting. I didn't even cover that yet. He communicates with like tones and notes. Similar to, have you ever seen Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren, and they're playing the synthesizer? I imagine that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a synth sound, the notes. Ryland compares it to a whale sound, but less whaley and more just like single chords in different, or single notes in different patterns. Interesting. Pretty cool, interesting thing that they communicate that way. Anyway, Ryland goes back to goes back to his ship, and the moment he goes back to his ship, he starts kind of freaking out about the whole situation, not knowing that he's going to go to sleep. He sets his alarm, and before anything happens, he passes out, and that's the end of chapter 10. Chapter 10 was crazy. It was crazy. It was nuts. I don't have any clue where we're going to go from here. I mean, I recognize that, look, there's an alien ship here that just so happens to be at the same space in the same place as our ship. But our ship's location is intentionally in one Earth orbit of the Tau Ceti star. right? So my question is, had the alien ship been following the Earth ship through space this entire time, utilizing the same propulsion? And if so, does Ryland figure that out? Or they just show up at the same time unironically? Or ironically? Lots of things. Lots of things to determine here. Lots of things. I'm excited to see where this goes. I kind of want to keep reading. Kind of late at night, though. But I kind of want to keep reading. I want to see what happens. No, I got to put it down for the night. But yeah, great book. You guys should pick it up. Like I said, it's on Amazon. If you want to follow along with me, I'm going to try to bring a chapter a day until this is done with. So we got 20 more chapters of this book. The movie comes out in March. So we're going to be excited about it. If you like this content, remember to like and subscribe and share. It'll help the channel a lot, help us out, us couch potatoes. But until next time, later taters.